Despite the energy problem, America will probably still be in love with its cars, so we have to think about how these may be used in a more environmentally friendly way. Most of our cars use gasoline as a fuel, and this is used to drive an internal combustion engine, which converts the energy of the gasoline into mechanical energy to drive the car. In these engines, air and gasoline are injected into a cylinder where they are ignited by the spark plug and burned to produce carbon dioxide and water. The expansion of these hot gases pushes down on a piston, which then produces mechanical energy. These engines are not very efficient and only convert about 15% of the energy of the gasoline into mechanical energy. We need to do better. Diesel engines are more efficient than gasoline-powered internal combustion engines and use a high molecular weight liquid, hydrocarbon, oil, as a fuel. In these, the oil-air mixture is compressed to a greater degree than in a gasoline engine, so that its temperature increases sufficiently that it ignites without the need of having a spark plug. These engines, while efficient, are not as popular in the United States as they are in Europe because they have been polluting, and also there are problems with their starting in very cold weather. However, during the past 30 to 40 years, there have been vast improvements both in the engine performance and in the fuel cleanliness. These make use of computer devices to control the engine and result in lower pollution and better performance. Consequently, there is increased use of such engines in Europe, and they are becoming increasingly popular in the United States. The better ones achieve mileages of 30 to 40 miles per gallon, a very desirable improvement. A recent development pioneered in Japan is the hybrid car. This uses a combination of gasoline and electricity to achieve its power. These cars are driven by electrical motors that receive their power from batteries. Current batteries cannot deliver enough electricity to power the car for more than about 30 miles, so they need to be recharged. This is done with a generator that is operated by a small gasoline engine, which is smaller than that in a conventional car and therefore uses less power, so that the mileage achieved with the combination is greater. Here we see some information about currently available hybrids. The better ones achieve mileages of up to 50 miles per gallon. However, they are relatively expensive, but the price is coming down as production increases, and they are getting more efficient every day. A development that we might see in the future is the replacement of the small gasoline engine with a diesel engine, which would be more efficient. Also, one of the developments now available in Japan and will be soon in the United States is the plug-in hybrid. Plug-in hybrids operate by being plugged into the power line when they're not being used, so the batteries are charged in this way rather than being dependent upon the onboard engine. This relieves the use of fuels for such engines and results in greater fuel economy. And it's estimated that the effective cost of operating these is about 75 cents per gallon rather than the $3 or so that we pay for conventional cars. A limitation is the capacity of the battery, which are only good for about 30 miles at present, but progress is being made. And it's thought in the future that one might get up to a battery charge of about 100 miles on all-electric operation. Japanese Plug-in hybrids are currently available, and American companies are working on developing these. A development that we anticipate in the future is the use of a fuel cell rather than the gasoline or diesel engine to generate the electricity. This would generate electricity directly from the fuel without the need of an engine. A fuel cell is like a battery, and it produces electricity from a chemical reaction. In a normal battery, the chemicals are fixed in amount and enclosed in a container, and when these get consumed, the production of electricity stops. They have to be regenerated when the battery is charged. However, in a fuel cell, the chemical ingredients are continuously fed in, and electricity gets produced as long as this feeding in continues. In the fuel cell of concern here, these chemical ingredients are hydrogen and oxygen, which react to form water and liberate energy in the form of electricity. And the energy liberation continues to occur as long as these ingredients are present. The hydrogen in a vehicle would have to be contained in some way, as previously discussed, but less of it is needed than if it were used as the primary means of propulsion, so it's a practical thing to do. In the offing are fuel cells which use other feedstocks than hydrogen, for example methanol, or there is the possibility of generating these feedstocks on board from some liquid fuel which can then produce hydrogen. Thus, there are many ways in which cars can be made more efficient. It's likely that fuel consumption can be reduced by a factor of 2 to 4. This was also accompanied by a reduction in the amount of carbon dioxide which has evolved, so that there are great environmental benefits, and these advances are well worth carrying out.